All right. Doing something a little differently tonight. Oh, we got the jack needs set up here. And I don't know if every single one of you needs to learn this, but it's a good skill to have. And let's face it, we need more skills that encourage us to bust our ass and scrape our knees. So, for those of you checking in for the first time, I'm Robert Johns of Chrisco Cast, and I'm going to be bodging it tonight. Some of you may know that I am skateboarded a lot when I was a kid, skateboarded growing up. Took a break, got married, had a family, have a job, and I've been getting back into it. And so this right here, this here, is the original. This was my very first skateboard. I got this back, oh God, 20 years ago. 20 years ago. Yeah, let me just tighten it up there on the image. Yep. This is the original deck and has a lot of still good hardware on it, but we've gotten to the point where the bearings are no good. Well, that one's fine. And they just need to be updated. 20 years, you need new bearings. And it's not an expensive piece. Focus, damn you, focus. It's all right. Y'all get the basic idea. So you should probably have an idea of how a bearing works, but there it is. So that's what one of the new ones looks like. Real simple. Some people have fancy skater tools. I have wrenches from working on the car, so that's what I'm using. It's a good thing to have a good set of wrenches. So first thing, like so, is you're going to want to go ahead and take this wheel off. So go ahead and take the wheel nut off. Ooh, that was nice and loose to begin with. You can see here. Pop that off. Now, in between the bearing and the nut, as it were, bearing down inside of there, bearings down here, and here's the nut, so that y'all can see. There's also a spacer, a little washer. And these are nice. I'm going to set these. I have some new washers to use, so I never get rid of washers, but I'm going to take this washer here and set it off to the side. And see, there's two of them. There's one on each side. I hope the sound is coming through fine. Let's go ahead and see if we have any chat while we're at it. No, it doesn't appear to be. All right. All right. Also, definitely make sure to always set these somewhere where you will find them so you do not lose them. Now, the general idea here, and I'll point out, I had my wheels on inside out because that was what was cool when these wheels were first originally released. But anyway, so the general idea is that the wheel, which is made from basically a nylon, essentially, it's a plastic product. You have two bearings. Here, I'll show it this way. Inside the wheel, you have a bearing, you have a spacer in the middle, you have another bearing. And those rest on one of these posts here. And as it spins, the idea is that it reduces friction. But I'm sure y'all see, this one is not, it should have some free spin to it. It absolutely does not. Or let me say it this way. After 20 years, bearing still has some work, some spin to it, but golly Moses, just not a whole heck of a lot. And it could be way better. So these need to be updated. I'm really excited to get this board back on the pavement. Not just because I'll probably bust my tailbone, but it's kind of cool to take something with some old life or some old memories and give it some new life. So basically the idea here to pop these suckers off, and I hope that you guys can get a good view of this, is you stick the wheel back into the post and then you wrench it. You just do like this, a quick kind of a twisting motion. You're not forcing anything. But here, we have a much better idea. And look at this. Look at this nasty old... Will it focus? It should. Should theoretically focus. Focus! There we go! Hell yeah! That's what we like to see. Look at just how grody. Water's gotten in there. Dirt's gotten in there. That is some hardcore stuff, man. Now, in theory, I could take this apart. I could clean it. I could soak it and in some basically like some mineral spirits kind of a thing, acetone or whatever, and re-grease it and reuse it. Theoretically, everything in here should be fine, but I'm gonna scalp these, put in brand new ones that cost me like $16, and use these for some other project. Don't rest assured, these will not be wasted. They will be used in another crazy mad science scheme somewhere down the road. But we set these aside. We put them in a safe place. This is the kind of stuff that drives your wife nuts because she's like, how much all this crap here? Sorry, my wife doesn't sound like that. And quite frankly, I hope yours doesn't either. But you get the idea. This is kind of stuff that you leave lying around the house or in the kitchen sink. And the missus has a shit fit. So, but cool thing, set it aside along with the washers. We're going to do the same thing on the other side of the wheel. Just, sometimes they resist. See, we'll show you another one there. It's just looking rough, man. You know, you go out, you ride in wet conditions, you store it, you put it in the garage, put it in the attic, take it with you. I used to ride this skateboard around campus when I was in college. So it has been everywhere. Now, here's the easy part. And some people make this way too difficult. So basically, I need to put 2 of these suckers inside here, right? Hard. Not really. Basically, you pop this thing back on the post, and then you slide the wheel back over top of it. Like so. We got to make sure we put a nice little spacer. You don't have to use the spacer. These didn't come with spacers, but it's nice to have them. If you have them, it's just another extra layer that you can get things to slippity slide around on. Okay. Pop it in there a little bit. Stick it back on the post. Oh, nudging. I'm getting tied up in the camera, y'all. Sorry. Oh, yeah. Y'all don't want to look at that. Focus. Focus, damn you. Perfect. Well, not perfect because I'm in the image, but it's better all the same. All right. So we press it down, press it, and there you go. Easy peasy. Got the new bearing in, and let's just go ahead and y'all probably can't tell this on camera, but that is just like butter. It's just like butter. It just melts in your mouth. Actually, do not, under any circumstances, put any of these materials in your mouth. The pretty heavy-duty greases that they put in them, there's no way that's good for your health. All right, so real easily, take a little spacer here. See, a little spacer like this. Pop your wheel back on. Get yourself another spacer, and where did I put that nut? Remember, always put the nut somewhere that you can find it. Unlike your old pal Robert here, I did not immediately remember where it was, but it was still in eyesight. Y'all could probably see it on camera the whole time. And what you want to do when you're putting the wheel back on is you want to get it on there, but you still want to have a little bit of wiggle. It doesn't need to be so tight, because the idea is to have as little friction on the wheel as you can. I mean, obviously, it's going to have a ton of friction because the wheel is on the ground. It's contacting the ground constantly. And in fact, even inside the axle, with everything, with the spacer, it's still making contact. But the idea behind the bearings is to reduce friction and make things flow that much better. So the front side of the board is taken care of. So now that I've shown you, I can walk through this a little quicker. We can go through. Oh, did I do it right? Nope. All right, get that done. We're going to work through these last little ones a little quicker, and you'll see, hey, there we go, that it really doesn't take any time at all. Now, I was at the local skate park shop, as it were, where all the cool kids hang out, not including yours truly, and they were saying, oh, man, you don't need to get new bearings, which I was kind of shocked at. And I guess it's really just your favorite flavor, but honestly, 20 years old, it's time for some bearings. And here's more of the same. I mean, just look at how grody that is. And I swear, as a kid, I know I had to take these wheels apart and redo them at least once. So they're just like, are you going to focus? Focus, please. All right. Well, you get the idea. Thank you, Last Place. Last Place says, look, it's a death board on wheels. I never had any luck on skateboards. You know, it's a lot of fun. And for a big fatso like me, it is a good way for me to burn some calories, man. It's a fun way to burn some calories. And I was just stating the benefit of doing dangerous things, the power of doing a dangerous thing, how empowering that is, how good it is for your health, and how, I hesitate to say, Chrisco Industries, Chris and I encourage you all to go out and do something dangerous, but doing stuff that's a little bit dangerous, it's good for your heart, it's good for your health, it challenges your brain, really activates the almonds, as they say. All right, so there is one, and y'all may have noticed or may not have noticed that I have already here's one that I prepared earlier. I had already done one wheel because I wanted to make damn sure I remembered how to do this crap. Because there's nothing more embarrassing than getting on the Cami Ramara and being like, hey, let me tell you whippersnappers how you need to do this shit. And then they're like, the fuck am I doing? All right, so 1, 2, and 3. Let's get this little puppy here. All right, we got the last one here. I'm going to take this one off like so. Oh, no, that's tightening it up. That's making it worse. Okay. Now, the funny thing is, I know doing this is going to prompt Chris to do all sorts of look at me wrench on things videos. I swear to God. He may not seem it, but he is such a gearhead. I like cars, and I like working on cars. This kid eats, sleeps, and breathes working on cars. And again, oh, whoa. Just see if we can actually get in there. These are looking rough. They're looking real rough. And just a little side-by-side comparison. So here's the new bearing. And here's the old bearing. And it's just night and day. And I can't get the camera to focus on it, but y'all get the general gestalt there. General gestalt. So we're going to pop that one off too. Oh, yeah, there we go. Ah, yeah, oh, that one's nice and knackered. That's just nasty. All right. So it is, in its core, it's an easy thing to do. Okay. Pop the nice little spacer in there. So I'll show y'all. I haven't really been focusing on the spacer, but so you can see the spacer in there and what that does. Okay. And zoop. Get that on. All right. Very nice. Nice. Okay. And last one here. How exciting. All right. Pop that little dickory-doo there. Slide the wheel on. Put our new species spacer on. And polish this turd. I mean, get this board ready for the skate park. So, you might not think that Asheville, North Carolina would be a great place to skateboard, but, and you'd be right. I'll also show off my board. You like my nice, simple deck grip tape art? Yeah. Would love to make an actual cutout or make something nicer than that, but that's just what I've got for the time being. But this particular deck, I won in a raffle at JCPenney darn near 20 years ago. And this was at kind of the beginnings. I mean, obviously skateboarding caught on in the 80s and 90s, but we all know when skateboarding really exploded was when Tony Hawk landed the 900. I mean, that's like no joke. There's no way. I mean, that's when everything took off. And what's so funny is like that was at his retirement. That was his retirement from competition, was landing that trick. But anyways, JNCO or Junco was a clothing line in the 90s. They were most known for having those real fruity bell-bottom jeans that like went out like 2 feet at the bottom. It was like, Big Ben. The bell was huge. But anyways, we had just moved to Raleigh, North Carolina when I was a kid. This is before we went up to the mountains. And we were at JCPenney, and my mom said, hey, they've got a raffle. They're giving away a complete skateboard. I hear you crazy kids are real into them skateboards there. You should give it a try. And I filled it out. And sure enough, 2 weeks later, I got a phone call and had won the board. And then that was my very first skateboard. I've had other boards since then. I've had other decks since then and gear, but there's just a tremendous amount of nostalgia for me for this one here. And you can see it's been really loved. Lots of nose stuff, tail stuff, and then just little stuff. If I was a better skateboarder, I'd have more lines across the middle. You can see I just have like a few lines across the middle from board slides. So not something I was able to do very well, but that's going to change. And that's going to change this year. I'm going to be able to do a kick flip again. That's my goal. My body's different and I'm heavier than I used to be, but could I take this to a skate shop and pay somebody $30 to buy bearings and pay them to put bearings on my board? Sure. But that's no freaking fun, man. The whole fun is working on your own stuff. And I encourage you to work on your own stuff. And I encourage you to find passions, find something that gets you outdoors, do stuff that scares you. And for God's sakes, wear pads, because I know I do. And, there's not been nothing more humbling than being the old fogey out there trying to skateboard again, and you see some punk freaking 11-year-old doing kick flips and flips and tricks and all sorts of crap, and they think you're just the lamest old guy. And I am, but I'm going to keep being that lamest old guy at the park. So thanks for tuning in. We will probably have, I'm probably going to change the trucks on these here sometime soon. And if you like this and want to see Chris and I do some more of our bodgin, when we're just fixing crap around the house and doing stuff like that, let us know. It's super easy to set up the camera. And have a very good week. See y'all around next time.